Hello, welcome to the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Pulaski Electric System. I'm Steve Pierce, your host. Along beside of me, Bobcat head football coach Walt Smith, and today a guest on our show, Bobcat defensive coordinator, Coach David Barger. Coach, the Bobcats, we traveled to CPA last Friday night, and what do you say? We just a big loss for the Cats, and just a tough ball game from the start of the game.
Yeah, we just didn't really show up. From the get-go, just didn't have things going our way. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and we go 3 and out and put the defense in kind of a bad situation, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. One of those you want to try to put behind you as quickly as possible. A couple things we could definitely learn from the film, but all in all, it was just one of those nights where it wasn't our night. We didn't get ourselves ready to play, and we as coaches didn't get them ready to play, and just want to put it behind us and move on.
There you go. Coach, let's talk a little bit about it. You mentioned it, that just moving on. I'm going to let you do the offensive side, and we'll talk to Coach Barger about the defensive side. Just a little bit of the thoughts about offensively last Friday night.
Well, we didn't block them very good up front, and part of that was obviously some play we probably could have called a few different plays here and there, but they did a really good job stunting up front and giving our offensive line a bunch of different looks, and didn't handle it really well. Thought we threw the quick game really good. I thought Trevor completed. I think Lucas had 7 catches, maybe 7 catches for about 80-something yards. Overall, passing-wise, it wasn't a bad night. Didn't ever get the run game going, though, and to win football games, you got to run football.
Coach, out of everything that happened offensively, I think we've got to look a little bit at CPA and give them the credit that they're due. Awful good defense out there on the field.
It was. They're well coached. They've got some really good players. Another thing that you don't even take into account is the kicking game. Offensively, when you start at your 20-yard line every time or inside, it makes it tough. I don't know the stat, but I think it's less than 20% of drives that start at the 20 or in that result in a touchdown. And so, it puts you in bad field position, which totally changes play calls and different things. So, but all around, hats off to them. They got themselves ready to play and got some really good players. And I imagine they'll be back in Cookville again, undefeated, waiting on Alcoa.
Welcoming Coach Barger in. Coach, defensively Friday night, of course, I know you wasn't happy with the outcome of the game, but we've been talking a little bit off the air and since the game. Not totally disappointed with your defensive effort the other night.
No, I thought our defensive line played pretty well. CPA, like I said, credit to them. They got a great offensive line, come off the ball really well, stay on blocks well. But I thought we did a good job playing off some blocks and getting them into some third downs. The only issue we had was getting off the field on third down, as we talked about a little off the air. To be successful on defense, you got to get off the field on third down, and we didn't do a great job on that. We had early in the ball game, we had them the first 4 possessions, we had them in third and 4 or longer where we had a chance to get off the field. Didn't get it done. Something we want to correct in practice this week and Friday night. We call those, our defense calls those money downs, and we want to get off the field on those money downs on Friday.
Coach, talk a little bit about your defense. You had a few starters returning this year, but you're still having to move people around, sort of find that chemistry of what works well on defense. Talk a little bit about your personnel on defense this year.
Well, defensively, we are replacing a lot of starters. We got some guys that's played a lot of football in Boone Gibson, who played a lot for us last year. Quantez Appleton, who came in the playoffs for Brandon, when he had his knee injury last year. Doc and Cameron in the secondary, who've played a lot. But you take those guys out, and Matthew Langford on the D-line for us, who played all 15 games last year. But other than those guys, we got a lot of new faces, and we're trying to fill each other out right now. We're making a few changes in the defensive line as far as shuffling people around a little bit, with Trey Turner moving out to an end and Kobe Beats moving down inside to a D tackle to kind of find the right chemistry. But those guys that return, like Boone, he's in a totally new position this year, playing inside linebacker as compared to outside. So, that's been a big change for him. So he's still trying to get his feet under him, his sea legs, if you want to say, under him, and get comfortable in the position. So I think we're going to continue and know we're going to continue to improve as the year goes on. But I've been pleased with the progress we've made early. And overall, in the first 3 games, defense has played pretty well. So I've been excited about that and what we got moving forward.
Coach, you brought up a good point, getting better week to week. Me and Coach Walt Smith talk about that quite often, the mark of a good team, and we've seen it last year with the 2013 edition of the Bobcats being able to get better week by week. Even though you come off of a loss this week, watching film, how does that help your guys?
Well, in the film room, you get to see a lot of your mistakes. And one thing I learned, I had an old coach tell me one time, one of my mentors, that you're never as good as as you think you are, or as bad as you think you are when you see film. And that's kind of as bad as we thought we played. We saw some bright spots. We saw some things that we, if we'd have just took the right step here or, made the right read right here, then we get off the field on third down. And, now we're getting the football back and giving our offense some more possessions. And I think we're going to improve and continue to get better. You should never be at your best in the first couple of weeks. You want to be playing your best football week 10, week 11 as you go into the playoffs. And I think that's what our team and our staff's striving for, and I think that's what you'll see out of us.
Coach, you come back Sunday afternoon, you're meeting with a team, you break down film. You're looking at the past week, things that we need to work on, things we need to get better at. Then we start moving on to this week's game, which we'll talk a little bit more about, having to travel to Tullahoma. Tell me the mood of the team, the atmosphere.
Well, Sunday, and really this is a good thing. Sunday was kind of the somber attitude. They were down, and obviously, anytime you get kind of get it took to you like we did Friday, if kids aren't upset about that, you wonder sometimes what does upset them. So I felt like the fact that they were still upset about it on Sunday was a good sign for us. They know they didn't represent the Bobcats very well on Friday night, and like I said, that falls on us. We've got to do a better job getting them ready for that. But they take it personal too. We this week we've talked a little bit about standards and how that the Bobcat and Giles County has been there. It's a standard in 4A football. We're one of the guys that people measure themselves off of. And we've got to do a better job of upholding that standard, and we realized we didn't Friday night, but we're going to do everything we can do to keep that from happening again.
Yeah, the Bobcats suffer a loss at CPA, our first district loss, but Bobcats still 2-1 early in the season, a lot of room for improvement. Big crowd followed the Bobcats. The game being on TV, a lot going on here in Pulaski, but still the Bobcat fans showed up.
Yeah, our stands were packed Friday night. They were right on top of us, too. It was kind of a different situation. We had to actually move one of our benches up beside the stands over on the sideline so we could have some room to walk and meet with our defense and offense when they come off the field. Coaches in the press box were a little crowded because of all the TV cameras, so it wasn't an ideal situation last week, but great crowd, I thought, followed us up there. Again, I just wish we'd represented a little better and gave them something a little better to watch.
There you go. Coach Barger, we talk a lot about the staff. Why don't you take a moment to tell the viewers out there what you teach, a little bit of background of your coaching history, what brought you to Giles County?
Well, as far as teaching-wise, I teach environmental science and biology 2 honors here at the high school. And, as far as background on coaching, began my high school coaching career at Marion County High School in Jasper, Tennessee back in 1998. Was a position coach there, and then was elevated to defensive coordinator and spent my last 3 years at Jasper at Marion County as a defensive coordinator, and left there in 2003 to become the head football coach at Lake County High School out in West Tennessee. And a lot of people not familiar where that's at. That's on Reelfoot Lake. A lot of good crappie fishing out there and duck hunting. But, I spent 4 years as a head coach out there till 2006. Left, went to Chattanooga Central High School over in Harrison, Tennessee, right out in the suburb of Chattanooga. Spent 3 years as the head football coach there in the 4A program. And then actually in a twist that my wife took me, we went back to Lake County as she became the head boys basketball coach, and I went back as the head football coach and spent 3 years there before coming to Giles County. But drawing me to Giles County again, and Coach mentioned it, the standard, if you're in high school football and you know much about Tennessee high school football, you know about Giles County and the tradition and the standard of excellence that's here. And, when the opportunity came to come here and be defense coordinator, it was one of those that I didn't think you could pass up. And, I've been accepted really well by the school and the community, and love the kids here. I just enjoy coaching here and excited about the year.
One thing, Coach, we've talked about, there's a lot of people that make this program go, from interim director J.B. Smith to Mark Carden, the principal at the high school, all the teachers yourself, and and the people with it and the community. It just takes a lot to make this all come together.
It really does. You know, we've got several groups over at the school. We've got the Booster Club, obviously, that helps us with a whole bunch of things monetarily and support-wise. The Bobcat moms do a great job for us, feeding us on Thursdays, Friday mornings, Friday before games. Several of the parents have taken on feeding us after the games this year, which has been really great. Had several of the churches step up to feed us on Thursday this year, and really want to thank them. But people outside the program don't really understand what goes along with running a program our size, with the success we've had, and it's unbelievable how much manpower and resource things it takes, and we haven't ever wanted for anything. It's always been there every time we've asked.
Coach, the Bobcats travel this Friday night to Tullahoma to take on the Tullahoma Wildcats. Tullahoma being a 5A club, tough opponent coming up. We're going to see it week in, week out. Tell us a little bit from the defensive. What do you see in the defense of Tullahoma this week?
Well, the first two games they played, I think they had a couple guys out and didn't really play very well on defense. But then last Friday they go to play Shelbyville, who's the favorite in District 8 AAA. Supposed to be a pretty good team this year, and Tullahoma has them beat. Holds them the first half. I think they have 7 points in the first half, and then second half they come out and gave up some points, and Shelbyville's able to come back on them. But seemed like they got a couple players back last week, and seem to be playing a lot better against a pretty athletic Shelbyville team.
Coach Barger, now the question to you. With your defense, tell us a little bit what you see in Tullahoma's offense.
Well, they're going to spread you out a lot. They run two quarterbacks, number 15 and number 8, and they kind of go with who's got the hot hand, which kid's playing well is going to get more reps. Running back is solid. He's got some speed. He can take it to the house on you. And we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to make sure that we got all our zone read coverages, covered. We're going to make sure we take care of the quarterback and he's accounted for every time in the run game. And then again, for us, it's just taking care of us and getting off the field on third down. As I told our kids, this week I want to focus more on us than I am on Tullahoma and us doing what we need to do defensively to get off the field on third down.
Yeah, Coach, that's sort of the theme I think that you're taking into this week. The first 3 games, not only the CPA game, but the first 3 games are behind us. It's what can the Bobcats do now?
Yeah, again, each week we talk about trying to improve each week. We didn't feel like in practice last week we felt like we did, but then on Friday night we didn't really show up and get better last week. So we definitely want to get back on the right track, trying to take a step forward each week, and we'll have to this week playing a tough Tullahoma team.
Well, this Friday night, 7 o'clock, the Bobcats travel to Tullahoma. It'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. And as always, one of the biggest differences is going to be the Bobcat 12th man making that trip.
Yeah, got to have everybody over there again. Finally get to come back home next week, but need you one more week. I know it's been 3 weeks in a row, been a long road trip for the fans and the team. 3 weeks in a row here, but need everybody over there. We can fill them. It's a nice stadium. They patterned theirs kind of after hours. I don't think it's quite as nice, but they patterned theirs after hours. So it should be a nice night for football.
Yeah, any of you who hadn't seen Tullahoma Stadium, Coach Smith is right. They built these stadiums. They're sort of sister stadiums. Little changes, nothing like Sam Davis Park, Jack Deere Field, but still plenty of seating for the Bobcat fans. So 7 o'clock this Friday night at Tullahoma. Come watch the Bobcats play. We thank you, Coach Barger, for being with us today.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Coach Smith, everybody, come support the Bobcats this Friday night, 7 o'clock at Tullahoma. We'll see you there.